Hi, I'm Ukilla, and this is my homemade fully automatic paintball gun. I'm going to show you how to make it. Now, you can break this thing up into essentially two parts. This part, which contains the electronic sprinkler valve, and this part, which is what makes it fully automatic. That's one part. Second part is the rest of the gun, which is the tank, this little U thing right here, valve, and all that. I'm not going to show you how to make that. What I'm going to show you is how to modify this so you don't need power for it. Alternatively, if you want power, it'll make something down the line a little bit easier. And I'm going to show you how to make this, which is the paintball feeder. Paintballs go in here, and then when you fire it, a piston moves forward and then hits it with air, and it comes shooting out. Actually, it comes shooting out at about 260 feet per second. Kind of surprised me, especially since I'm only running 80 psi on this thing. Now, you may notice this thing's not entirely made of PVC. This part right here is made out of metal. It used to be made out of PVC, but I didn't like how I glued this together. I just didn't like it. So I replaced it with metal. Now, some important things is this little pipe right here I got because I worked in a lab, and they dealt with very small pipes that had lots of pressure in it. Same deal with this valve. Now, this valve is just like a momentary valve. You can put and hold that, or you can do that and it will stay open. Now, I honestly don't know where to buy this. Maybe some laboratory supplies place. You don't have to use this. Like I said, you can use an electronic valve, and then all you need is a switch down here, which you'd have to wire to make it so when you hold it down, it will keep pulsing itself. I have a BB in here that does that for me mechanically. It's a BB being pushed against the air output by a spring, and that makes it so when the pressure drops below a certain amount, it will close it up and allow the pressure to build back up again. That allows it to be fully auto. When I hold it down, it will be fully auto. That coupled with the piston here, which allows the pressure to build up a little bit more too. Like I say, you don't have to use this. You could use one of these. This is just a compressor attachment. Attach it to a compressor. Attach it to a compressor. Push that, air comes out. Okay, that's that. You would have to modify it by putting a little BB here and having a spring push against it, preferably adjustable. If you don't know how to do that, you can get an adjustable emergency pressure release valve. It's one of those valves that come on almost every air compressor in the world. When the pressure reaches a certain point, it releases air and drops it down below that point. Get one of those that are adjustable, and you can attach to this, or you can get one that you can attach it to, and that will make it do what we need it to do. Now, like I said, I don't know where you can get them. You're gonna have to figure that out for yourself. This is the part I'm going to show you how to make. This part I'm not going to show you how to make. There's already hundreds of video instructables out there on how to make this. Just find one that you like, watch it, build a Spud Gun. I mean, this is just a Spud Gun Tank and that. If you wanted to copy this, well, here's what it is. The tank is a 1.5 inch Schedule 40 2-foot length piece of PVC pipe. I got a cap here, I got a coupler here, and then I got a threaded adapter here that drops it down to, what does it drop it down? I think that's 1/2 inch. Yeah, that's 1/2 inch. You don't have to drop it down to 1/2 inch. You could drop it down to 1 inch if you want to. I'm not entirely sure why I dropped it down to 1/2 inch. Doesn't seem to hurt the performance though. Then what I have here is 5 nipples, 2 T's, right here and here. This is an adapter, a 1/2 inch to, I don't know what size that is. That might be 1/4 inch, right there. That is for the air valve. You don't need one. You could just cap that off, or just have an L here. This is 1/2 inch to. That is 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch. That must be 1/8 of an inch. Anyways, that's 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch air valve adapter to plug into my compressor. And as you can see, this is all, like I said, this is all metal. This is galvanized. You can use steel, you can use copper if you really want to, or you can use PVC. I mean, I actually originally had this metal set up to look like this, but I wanted to streamline it a little bit to make it a little bit more, streamlined. Side effect of that is when you hold it, it's actually very comfortable. It actually feels really good in the hand, especially when it fires, because it does have a little bit of a recoil. When it fires, all the weight is going into my thumb, so it's very manageable right here. Anyways, I'm not going to show you how to make this. Figure that out on your own. For this, you're going to need 2 things. Well, 2 things. This can be split up into two different sections. This, like I said, is just it's a standard 1 inch electronic water valve for electronic sprinkler systems. I think this is an inline one where it comes in this way and comes out this way. There are other ones where it's curved down here and curved down here. You could make those work. Yeah, I suppose you can make those work by putting it like right there, but this is the one I have. If you don't want to use an electronic triggering system, you are going to have to modify it like I did. What I did here was I drilled a hole through the very top of it, I threaded it, and I put an adapter. This adapter is specific to my valve, but you could put anything in there. You could thread it, put anything, like you can put this right here in it, so then you can just attach anything you want, or you could put any type of piping system that goes to your valve to trigger it. Now if you do that, you will need the BB and the spring to help manage the pressure. But if you use the electronic version, what you can do is, if you're good with building like electronics, I'm good at taking apart electronics, I'm not so good at building them. You could wire it down to a switch that will pulse, and that will let you have more control over its rate of fire. But the mechanical way I did it, at least when I hold it down, its rate of fire will be determined on how fast it can refill the tank. So it won't fire until it has enough pressure to fire. The electronic one, it might try to fire when it doesn't have enough pressure. So then you might get paintball stuck in the barrel, which is kind of annoying. And it's very annoying to get out. You just stick a pipe down there and break it. So I should really take this apart for you, shouldn't I? Hang on. Oh, I almost forgot. When you take this thing out, you need to plug the hole in there. I just filled it up with hot glue. Seems to work just fine. There goes the spring. Where did that thing go? There it is. Don't worry, found it. Alright. So, this is how it is closed. This is how it is open. Spring, that little thing. You don't need to do anything in there. The spring, keep it, because you need it later. Consequently, it's actually the perfect size you need for this later on. Keep that in mind. This is the top. This is what you need to modify. Alright? You can see right here. All I did was I drilled a hole through that, and I covered it all in hot glue because it was leaking and the hole I drilled sucked. I also filled this up with hot glue right here, in addition to filling that up with hot glue. The hot glue is to, make it so air doesn't go out anymore. That's all the modifications you need to do that. Modify it so you can attach a valve to it somehow. So when you push this, this will allow air to flow through. So there's some videos out there that go into more detail on how to do that. I'll try to link them in the description for you. But that's not the fun part. Fun part's this. Now this is very special, like I said. Has a piston in there that moves whenever you do it, whenever you fire. And this is the piston. Showed you a second ago. Whenever you fire it, it moves forward here until it hits a stopper, and air is allowed to flow into it. When it's here, air can't flow from this end to this end until it does this. Then it can flow. Then it can flow here, out here, and then into here. That's how it works. This all fits to a 1-inch thing of PVC pipe. Like that. Oh yeah. This right here isn't one piece of pipe, it's actually two. This is one pipe. This is the same pipe, but it has a second pipe around it. Don't know if you can see right there. You see the thing? That's so it will slide easily in the other pipe, in the 1-inch pipe. This is 3 different size pipes. See right there? There we go, it focuses. You can see I drilled some holes through it just to allow more air to flow through. And there's holes there. And there's a plug at the very tip for hot glue. You gotta make sure to secure this down, otherwise the first time you fire it, this will come firing out. And I did that, and now there's a hole, whatever, doesn't matter. Now, you may have already guessed, but to do this, you kind of need a lathe. That's because you need to take this pipe here and cut it down. And I'll go through this part later. But first thing you need is a lathe. Falling short of a lathe, falling short of being able to obtain one, another expensive, you can get one of these. Power drill works fantastically. Power drill and a drill bit will work on any size that can fit inside of your smallest pipe that you need a lathe. Well, actually, any size that fits inside your smallest pipe will work. And duct tape. That's why the smallest one will work. You wrap the duct tape around it until you have enough to shove it inside of a pipe, and you duct tape it on. You do waste a little bit of piping, and if you're not careful, you could ruin your drill bit. So that's what you can use as a lathe. I'll show you one. I'll show it to you. I will show it when it's all put together for you. As for a parts list,